we have participants also from Spain and from Armenia. So we manage again to span the ties across all Europe. So thank you very much for that. It is a great pleasure to welcome you participants to today's webinar on Creative Europe opportunities for the fashion sector. I'm Jutta Kastner. I'm Policy Officer at the European Commission for Creative Europe. And I'm delighted to open this important session dedicated to exploring how Creative Europe, the funding program, can support the fashion sector in bringing innovative ideas to life. So the fashion sector is not only about trends and aesthetics. It is a vibrant field where creativity meets culture, sustainability, and technology. Fashion tells stories, shapes identities, and plays a pivotal role in Europe's cultural and creative landscape. However, in today's rapidly evolving world, fashion professionals and organizations face also numerous challenges, from digital transformation to environmental sustainability. And Creative Europe is here to support you, the creative sectors, in navigating these complexities. Creative Europe is the EU flagship program for the cultural and creative sectors. It offers a wide range of funding opportunities, such as the call for European cooperation projects, which is currently open for applications. And Anastasia, I suppose you are going to dive into these opportunities deeper during the webinar. So it can help fashion professionals and organizations to develop, to collaborate, and to innovate together. Through our program, you can gain access to resources that enable cross-border cooperation, support sustainable practices, foster digital innovation, and promote cultural diversities. So during today's session, you will hear in detail about the specific actions and calls for proposals that can be relevant for your participation from the fashion sector. And you will also learn from inspiring examples of projects like the Fashion Techs and Time for Sheroes, which demonstrate how Creative Europe funding has empowered fashion initiatives to grow and make an impact on the ground. So I encourage you to actively engage in today's discussions and also the question and answer sessions. This is an excellent opportunity to clarify your questions or exchange ideas and explore potential collaborations. So whether you are looking to launch a new project, expand your network, or enhance your organization's capacity, Creative Europe has tools and resources that can help you achieve your goals. So thank you for joining us today, and I look very much forward to seeing how your projects will contribute to the vibrant and diverse European fashion landscape. So enjoy the webinar, and I wish you a productive and inspiring session. And with this, I hand back to Anastasia. And thanks again for organizing this. And I stay in the room if you have questions regarding to cultural policy and what we want to achieve in supporting the fashion sector. So I'm here with you until around 2 o'clock Brussels time, then I have to leave for another meeting. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jutta. Thank you once again, everybody who joined our webinar today. My name is Anastasia Konkina, and I'm representing the Creative Europe Desk Latvia. And I'm trying to let everybody in the meeting. So if I stop while talking sometimes, that means that somebody else is trying to join, and I'm trying to let them in. So don't worry about that. But thank you once again for joining our webinar today about the Creative Europe opportunities for the fashion sector. Just to update you on the program and keep you informed. The program stays the same. We have just heard the welcome words from Jutta Kastner, and we are now going to go to the informative part of the webinar, information about Creative Europe and its goals and how it supports the fashion sector, which is going to be presented by me, Anastasia, from Creative Europe Latvia. We will then, at 2 o'clock Brussels time, go on to the project presentations, with the first project presentation being fashion techs, and the second project presentation being time for shearers. And just to keep you updated on the technical side of the webinar, you can freely use the chat to ask your questions, to say hello to everybody. And recently we've had a lot of international info sessions where the chat is used also to connect a bit, to network a bit. So if you feel that you want to get into Creative Europe and you want your organization seen, then you can use the chat just to state which organization you're from, maybe what are you thinking about, and let everybody know that you're there, because here today we have a lot of fashion organizations and professionals, and maybe it could be also a spot to start your networking and diving into the Creative Europe project. After the information session and after each project presentation, we will have a little Q&A session, so you'll have an opportunity to ask your questions. And during the presentations of the speakers, so during my presentation and during Yanis and Kati's presentation, I will ask you to keep your microphones muted. But then when we have Q&A sessions, you can ask your questions either in the chat or while we are raising your hand and unmuting yourself. This is all about the technical part. I know one more thing, the webinar is recorded, and the recording will be saved and edited, so that after the webinar, everybody who could not join us today or everybody who wants to re-watch the webinar, so that you have this opportunity, and we will also send you the presentations together with the webinar recording link. So this is all about the technical part, and I'm now going to start the informative part about the Creative Europe program. While talking about the Creative Europe opportunities for the fashion sector, and thinking about which information I could present to you, I thought that it would be needed to talk a bit about the Creative Europe program as a program itself, because I see a lot of new faces, new people in the webinar today. So I think it would be really informative to talk to you about what Creative Europe is. Also, we're going to move into some specificalities of the program, and I will tell you more about the European Cooperation Project, which Jutta mentioned already in her welcoming words, as well as a bit information about the Culture Moves Europe mobility scheme, and one more opportunity for the professionals in the fashion sector and design sector. But let's start with the Creative Europe program, which is the main point of our discussion today, the Creative Europe program and how it supports the fashion sector. Basically, the Creative Europe program is the European Commission's program to support the culture and creative sectors and audiovisual sectors by providing the funding for cultural and creative organizations, cinemas, films, and as design and fashion sectors are a part of cultural and creative organizations. Obviously, Creative Europe provides support to the design and fashion sectors, sectors of artistic creation, and it does it so to encourage collaboration and address common challenges that organizations or professionals have, as well as to promote and represent the sector within and outside the European Union. But if we continue talking about the Creative Europe program, then the main two objectives of the Creative Europe program are to safeguard, develop, and promote European cultural and linguistic diversity and cultural heritage, and to increase the competitiveness and economic potential of the cultural and creative sectors, including the audiovisual sector and, of course, including the design and fashion sectors. The program is not just an entity, it is structured this way that it is divided into three main strands. So the Creative Europe program, which you can see in the big bubble, is divided into three strands called media, culture, and cross-sector. the 7-year program, Creative Europe, supports all 3 strands for the whole 7 years. And just to tell you more about each strand of the program, the media program is the biggest part of Creative Europe, which supports audiovisual sectors and film industry, film festivals, film production, development, etc., etc. Um, but we are not here today to talk about the audiovisual sector because it's a different part of Creative Europe. But I just wanted you to be informed that it exists. One more sector is cross-sector, which supports the actions between the media and culture sector, as well as journalism calls, as well as news media opportunities, and also Creative Europe desks, because just as you do, we also have to apply for the project to get funding to tell you more about Creative Europe and support our local organizations applying for the Creative Europe. But the third strand and the focus of our discussion today is the culture strand, which basically supports everything except audiovisual and film sector. So it supports cultural and creative sectors, which include, for example, obviously a design and fashion sector, and visual arts, music, performing arts, circus, puppetry, etc., etc. The culture strand supports, first of all, European cooperation projects, which I will tell you more about a bit later, but which is the main call and the most popular call of the culture strand to support the cooperation between the Creative Europe countries and organizations in the cultural and creative fields. It also supports networks of creative and cultural organizations, and some networks that come to my mind currently are, for example, the European Network of Cultural Centers, or some networks for music organizations or visual organizations, etc., etc. The culture strand also supports the platforms for emerging artists, the literary translation to promote the literature and its translation across European countries. This is also the strand that supports European capitals of culture, and as a Latvian desk representative, I can not mention that in 2027 Latvia is holding the European Capital of Culture, with Liepāja, the city being the capital of culture, that you should definitely go and visit in 27. And all the activities of the European Capital of Culture in Liepāja will be supported by Creative Europe Strand Culture. And also Creative Europe Strand Culture supports some prizes for artists, for cultural and creative professionals. And the last but not least, Culture Moves Europe built a scheme, which I will also talk about more in a more detailed way later, just for you to keep on the same page with us and keep informed about the opportunities. But the first thing on our list, European cooperation projects. As I mentioned before, European cooperation projects is the competition, is a call that is also the action of European Commission to support projects involving organizations in the cultural and creative sectors of all sizes, including micro-organizations and small-sized organizations and large organizations as well, and from different Creative Europe countries, and not only Creative Europe countries, to undertake sectoral or cross-sectoral activities. So basically, the idea of this most popular Creative Europe call is that it supports collaboration, innovation, circulation, creation, across all the sectors, including fashion and design sector across Europe. To talk more about the structure of the call and to get you more information about the objectives of the call, because the call has objectives. There are 2 objectives which you can, and you as an applicant have to choose one of the 2 objectives of the call when applying for the call for the funding. Even if your project addresses both objectives, you can only choose one that is the most relevant to your project. So the first objective of European cooperation project is transnational creation and circulation. which means that your project aims to strengthen the translational creation and circulation of European works and artists. So you collaborate, you co-produce, you cooperate on the project, and then you create amazing things with it. And the second objective is more of a capacity building nature, but it is about innovation. So it means that your project aims to enhance the capacity of European cultural and creative sectors to nurture talents, to innovate, to prosper, and to generate jobs and growth. And when we talk about innovation, I think it's always important to mention that we do not only talk about digital innovation, because innovation as an objective can also be about the new approaches you use in your sector, or new collaborative models, etc., etc. Not only about innovation, but of course, the new digital solutions can also be considered as innovation. To sum up it, European cooperation projects and the idea behind the call is to identify common challenges that you and other organizations and your partners for the project have, and together, while collaborating, to look for ideas that resonate with all the partners and that you want to get out of your heads and to get it to the world to see. Then, while cooperating, it is really important to find the answers for the challenges that you thought about while thinking about the project idea, and through this cooperation process, through the European value that is added via Creative Europe funding, you can find the answers to the challenges proposed. During the European cooperation project, all the partners cooperate, explore, experiment, create, co-produce, produce, innovate, and learn together. And this is the main idea of the European cooperation project, to have this cooperation process help you find the answers through the learning, through cooperating, exploring, etc., to the challenges that you aimed to find the answers to. And of course, the idea behind everything is also to create a positive impact for European Union cultural and creative sectors, and for the not only the organizations involved in your project, but also the organizations that exist here in the European Union and in the Creative Europe countries, and to have this sustainable results that will be that could be used by others as well. If we talk more about the structure of the call and more about some financial nuances, the European Cooperation Project call is structured in three categories: small call, medium European Cooperation Project, and large European Cooperation Project. And here on the slide, you can see the difference between the three. So the differences are in the budget you can get from the European Union. It also is in the minimum amount of partners and countries you need to get the funding for the project. And it also there is also the difference between the three categories in the amount of the costs covered by the European Union. So to explain you better, if we look at the European cooperation small projects, so small European cooperation projects, to apply for the funding, we need at least 3 organizations from 3 different eligible countries. And if we have these partners in our project, then we can get up to 200,000 euros with the 80% of the project costs being covered by the EU. So which means that 20% have to come from all the partners involved in the project. When we look at medium European cooperation projects, we need at least 5 organizations from 5 eligible countries, and we can get up to 1 million euro with 70% of the costs covered by the European Union. And if we look at the large European cooperation projects, then we need at least 10 organizations from 10 eligible countries, and we can receive up to 2 million euros for the project, with the 60% of the costs being covered by the EU. And when you see this money, so 200,000 euros, 1 million euro, 2 million euro, it is the grant amount. So it is the amount of money granted to you by the EU. And so those the project costs are actually the actual project costs are actually going to be a bit higher, because there is also your co-funding coming to this money as well. But you can also, of course, not choose to apply for the maximum grant amount. It's just the maximum grant amount. So you can, if you are 10 organizations, you can also apply for 1 million euro. You do not have to apply for 2 million euro, just to be clear. And all the projects, small, medium, and large cooperation projects, can last up to 48 months, which means that we think about kind of long-term projects that will have impact on the sectors. The eligible participants for European cooperation projects are, of course, all the European Union member states, which includes all the European Union countries, European Economic Area countries, and here in the presentation you will also find a list of the non-European Union countries participating in Creative Europe, or so-called Creative Europe countries, as we call them. The list was updated last time in August 2024, but if there are any changes, then the list gets updated, and this is the official document to see which countries are participating in the Creative Europe. All the partners have to be legal entities, and if we talk about the cooperation projects, there is a coordinator who is in charge of everything, who is the leading partner, and this leading partner or coordinator must have had a legal existence for at least 2 years before the deadline of the submission of the project. The call for the European cooperation projects in 2025 is now open. It has been open since December. And as you can see on the graph here, the call deadline is awaited on May 13th, 2025. So you have February, March, April, and a bit of May to write your application, to prepare your application, to collaborate on your idea, and then to submit it to the project portal. And the results for the project submitted are awaited in October 25, with the signatures of the grant agreement, or the document that allows you to get funding, awaited in January 26. And then you can start your project after you got your results. You got a message saying that you are supported after you signed your grant agreement. Then you can start your project. So in 2025, all categories of the cooperation call will be open for submission, because European cooperation project is an annual call, whereas the small and the medium categories are being open every year. So we had this European cooperation project, small and medium projects, in 2024, in 2023, 2022, and we are having them in 2026 and 2027 as well. But the large category of European cooperation projects is now biannual, which means it is open once in 2 years. And this year, in 2025, we are having this large project category open, which means that in 2026, most likely it won't be open, but in 2027, we're awaiting it again. This year's novelty regarding the application for the European Cooperation Project call is that an organization can apply for a grant no more than once as a leading partner, which was like that for a long time now. But the novelty is that each organization can participate in no more than 3 times in the project proposals in total. So there are some organizations who applied to several projects as partner, for example. So as a leading partner, you can apply just once, but as a partner, you could apply to, for example, 2 more projects, or to a maximum of 3 projects. This is done so to manage the projects a bit because the competition is quite high, and as we want to get the most qualitative and the best projects supported, we also want more organizations being represented. So which means that there had to be this limit for applying implemented. But we'll see how it goes this year. So just keep in mind that you can apply no more than once as a leading partner or coordinator, and you can participate in no more than 3 projects in total as a partner and leading partner. When we talk about European cooperation projects, it is also really, really important to remember about the European priorities, which is a huge part of European cooperation projects. And I wanted to talk to you a bit about the overarching priorities we have now. So projects financed under the Creative Europe will contribute to the green and digital transition and to strengthening social and economic resilience by integrating these 4 priorities alongside the content creation and distribution. So the 4 overarching priorities which need to be targeted by your projects, European cooperation projects, are Creative Europe contributions to the EU greening efforts, inclusion and gender equality, digital transition, and international relations. And as we have some more time, I will run quickly and get you guided on this EU overarching priorities, with the first one being the greening priority, which means that all of the European cooperation projects have to contribute to the implementation of the high-level initiatives, such as European Green Deal and the EU efforts for greening. This could mean, first of all, I think it's quite important, really important for the fashion and design sector, which is sector that could beautifully implement the greening efforts of EU in the European cooperation projects. And how could it be done? It could be done by building more environmentally sustainable practices, by strengthening the synergies between the organizations, between the actions, by building up the capacity of the organizations involved and not only involved in the project, to build the knowledge about the issue of greening in the fashion sector and to disseminate the green ideas as well. So on one hand, if we think about sustainability and green sustainability, culture being the 4th pillar of sustainability and green sustainability, we could think about it. We could think about the cultural project as a tool for awareness raising, for learning ourselves and teaching others, and for communication about the greening issues and the climate crisis we're facing now. And on the other hand, projects also have the potential to develop innovative ways of tackling these issues that are present here and now, and to minimize the impact on the environment within and outside the sectors. And to get more information about this issue and how can the greening issue be tackled in your projects, and what are the good practices, what are the quality assessments and the aspects that are assessed under the Creative Europe projects, here you will find 2 links for the documents studying on greening the Creative Europe program. And applicants are particularly encouraged to take a look at the Good Environmental Practices Guide, but not only. And the newly published document, I believe it was published in October 2024, Quality Assessment of Green Aspects in Creative Europe Culture Strand Projects, which is an amazing tool that offers good practices, covers the key concepts that are assessed by the experts, tackles the essential questions, and shows just how you could do it. The second EU overarching priority is the inclusion and gender equality, and this means that projects funded by the Creative Europe also have to be inclusive and keep in mind the gender equality, because it is in the heart of the Creative Europe program, and it means that you think about those issues. So all the projects, how to think about how during the project management, during the activities of the project, and during some strategies, methodologies, and through them, how can we be more inclusive? How can we reach wider audiences? How can we reach underrepresented audiences? And how can we treat everybody equally and try and treat everybody equally, communicate on these issues, and etc. etc. The next EU overarching priority is digital transition. And when we talk about digital transition in the modern times in 2025, we of course also think about the artificial intelligence, which in all the documents of Creative Europe is both faced as a new opportunity, which is also raising some concerns, but it is really important to see the opportunities that the new tool, the new technology is bringing to us, and to see how we can use it for the good of creative and cultural sectors, and treat this tool with while being empathetic to the artists and cultural professionals, while being while not breaking the law of, for example, violating the author rights and other things that could be done if we do not use the tool correctly. But the digital transition is not only about artificial intelligence, and it also covers shaping fair and ethical digital environment, creating the accelerating the digital translation and fostering innovative formats and experiences, other tools and applications. And the last one, but not least, is the priority of international relations. And when I speak about international relations in the context of the EU and Creative Europe countries, we, of course, first of all, think about the current context of the Russians' war of aggression against Ukraine. And by that priority, the European Commission and Creative Europe also try to respond to the needs of Ukrainian cultural and creative sectors, and to help those sectors continue creating, continue showcasing the culture that needs to be showcased, and addressing also the needs of Ukrainians to have the access to culture and access to the cultural heritage to be preserved. So in 2025, the Creative Europe will continue supporting Ukrainian artists and cultural operators and displaced people to the other Creative Europe countries to showcase their work and access to the culture. And this is also actively encouraged in the European cooperation projects call. This was all about the European cooperation projects, but you can find more information while reading the document. And now I will move on to another great opportunity for maybe not for organizations as well, but mostly we talk here about the individuals and the cultural and creative professionals and the groups of cultural and creative professionals. In 2022, I believe the Creative Europe established the Culture Moves Europe Mobility Scheme, which promotes the mobility of artists, cultural professionals, and cultural organizations in creative and cultural sectors, including fashion design and fashion design sector. And it was consisting of two funding areas of individual and group mobility, and funding for residencies happening across Creative Europe countries. I will be talking now about the Culture Moves Europe period that is now currently closed because we're still awaiting information about the future of the mobility scheme for the period 2025-2027. So more detailed information. We know that the scheme will be implemented, and we know that it will continue to live because it was so popular and had such nice results and impacts on the professionals implementing the mobilities and residency actions. But we're just awaiting more detailed information to share with you. So stay updated on the news, and when we receive the news, we will tell you as well what to wait for. But the idea behind the Culture Moves Europe mobility scheme was that there are supported individual mobilities, group mobilities, and residencies. And traveling and related project must have pursued two of the following objectives, of the four following objectives, which are here for the Culture Moves Europe mobility. The objectives were that your project, if you want to implement a mobility project, if you want to host a residency, your project has to either explore, to create, to learn, and to connect. And you have to choose two objectives of these four to submit your project. So in Kachamos Europe, the projects that explore are supported. So you have to, you can conduct creative and artistic research. You can investigate some topics through cultural organizations and cultural documents and topics, etc., etc. Also inspired work on a particular theme or new concept. One more objective was to create, so to engage in the co-creating process, in a creative process, to produce a new artistic or cultural work. Also to learn, to expand your own competences and skills, and also competences and skills of the people involved in the project through non-formal learning or collaboration with specialists or other actions. And last but not least, to connect, so to network, to build yourself new connections, new professional networks, to strengthen your professional development and to connect not only with new potential partners, but also maybe with a new audience. Oh, I can see some information that was put here in last year. Sorry, the rolling call is closed, so Culture Moves Europe is now closed, and we're still awaiting information about the Culture Moves Europe for the next period of Culture Moves Europe Mobility Scheme. To let you know more about the funding possibilities that were there. How did this grant work? So the cultural professionals and artists had daily allowance of 75 euros and travel allowance of a travel allowance that was calculated based on the travel time, based on the country of origin and country of destination, etc., etc. There is also a top-up for people with disabilities to be decided on the case-by-case basis, and further top-up for visa cost, family members, and sustainable traveling. And one of the one of the best criteria aspects of Culture Moves Europe was that it supported not only qualitative but also green projects that think about how to make your mobility greener, how to travel in a greener way, but not only travel, you can also consider the materials and equipment used in your projects and how can they be greener, how can you reduce waste during your mobility or residency project, and how can the overall theme of your project be connected to greening as well, which was a great opportunity. And while we are waiting information about the new Culture Moves Europe mobility scheme, I thought it is still important to inform you about how the grant worked before that, just because most likely the priorities of the European Union do not change, so it is still really important to think about greening and inclusion, etc., etc. So we believe that there will be a lot of things that will work quite similarly to how it worked, but again, we're waiting for the information about how the mobility scheme will be working, and we will update you as soon as we receive the information. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the speakers of the Culture Moves Europe projects today to tell you more about how their story of their professional fashion design career was got them to participate in the Culture Moves Europe mobility action. But if you have interest in it, you can always contact your local desk and maybe ask for this information, or go to Culture Moves Europe social websites, because they have really nice social sites, and read more about how it worked and which kind of projects were supported. And one more opportunity for the individuals that I could see you being interested in is becoming an expert, because when we talk about both European cooperation projects and Culture Moves Europe projects and other Creative Europe Culture Strand projects, they are evaluated by the experts of the cultural and creative sectors who are coming from different countries, just as you are. And for everyone who considers himself an expert in the sector, in the fashion sector as well, and considers himself to be capable of evaluating the projects, you can always apply to work as an expert. There is a open link with some more information about how to work as an expert, what it requires from you, etc., etc. And you can read more information about it. And maybe if you're really interested in it, also become an expert who evaluates all, not all, but who evaluates the maybe European cooperation project or the next Culture Moves Europe project. We'll see. This is the end of my informative part of the presentation now, and I just wanted to mention before I open the question and answer session that, of course, if you have more questions or if you think about applying to European cooperation projects, or if you have some ideas and you do not yet know if they are quite acceptable for Creative Europe, or maybe if you're looking for international partners from other Creative Europe countries, then there is a Creative Europe desk in each country involved in the Creative Europe program. And here on the slides, you could also open the link and see the participating countries who are participating in Creative Europe, and you could also see the Creative Europe desks contacts. And Creative Europe desks are your best helpers when applying for the projects of Creative Europe, Culture Strand, and the Media Strand, because we are the ones who want you to get funded. We are the ones who will answer all your questions, and I even try to help you look for international partners because, as I mentioned before, there's a Creative Europe desk in each country, and we have a really close network of colleagues who are trying hard to get the best projects from all the countries funded, and trying to help you to get the funding to implement your beautiful projects with Creative Europe funding. As I'm representing the Latvian desk, I'm also leaving here the contacts of Creative Europe Desk Latvia, where we can help you and answer all your questions in our local language, Latvian language, but also English language is fine as well. But again, if you're from a different country, there is a desk in your country, so contact them. They're great. They will give you great advice. I will now stop sharing the presentation, and I will try and see if there are any questions and if I can answer them. I can see that there are some questions in the chat. So I can see the first question. I will read it out loud, but if you have more questions, please raise your hand and then I will. I see more questions. Okay, but also you can write them in the chat, but also you can raise your hand for me to notice it quicker. The first question is, are there co-financing requirements? And if so, what percentage of the project cost must be covered by the applicant? Yes, there is a co-financing requirement for the European cooperation projects, which I was showing to you during the presentation, which I will send after the event, but I will also show it once again. I hope you can see it. So here in the slide, this one. Yeah, there are the co-financing requirements. So you can see that for the small projects, you have to co-finance the project for 20% because 80% are covered by the EU. For a medium project, the co-financing percentage rate is 30% from your side. And for the large projects, it's 40% from your side. But I will send the presentation once again after the event, and you will be able to look at it a bit closer. Do you know what is the acceptance rate of the Creative Europe? So, as I mentioned before, Creative Europe is quite popular, and there are a lot of beautiful and qualitative and deeply thought through projects that are being submitted every year. And unfortunately, experts have to choose from all these beautiful projects to decide who is getting the funding and who is not getting the funding. I believe that we still do not have the latest statistics for the previous call, so European Cooperation Projects 2024. But the first thing I can say is that the medium strand is the most competitive strand of European cooperation projects, with the acceptance rate being close to 10%, if I'm not mistaken. But if any of my colleagues want to correct me, then you can do so. But I believe that, yeah, the medium projects are um, always the most competitive ones. Even though the competition rate and the quality of all the projects submitted is high, it does not mean that your project cannot be funded, because if you think through all the project details and if you think through all the collaboration process, and if you can communicate it in the application form and make this work, and also if you ask your Creative Europe desks for some advice, it is possible to get the funding. We are having beautiful projects implemented in all the countries involved in Creative Europe. Yeah, do not be afraid to do so. And also do not be afraid to contact your local desk for maybe some more detailed statistics on how the projects in your country are doing, which kind of projects were implemented, and etc., etc. I can see one question that was not really finished, I believe, but I can see one more question. Can two organizations be from the same country? For example, I would apply for a small project with two organizations from my country and two others from different countries. Thank you. Yeah, so the minimum requirement to apply for the small European cooperation project is to have at least 3 partners from 3 different eligible countries. But that also means that if you have the minimum requirements, you can add more partners from the same country as you come from, or from different countries. So you can apply for the small projects with, for example, Latvian organization, Spanish organization, Swedish organization, and this is the minimum requirement: 3 organizations from 3 different Creative Europe countries. And you can add more organizations from Latvia, more organizations from Poland, Denmark, Norway, etc., etc. It is really important to fulfill the minimum requirements, but then you can add more partners if you wish. What program from Creative Europe could provide support for the Fashion Week initiatives? Thank you so much in advance. I believe it depends on the kind of support you want, on the amount and capacity you have, on the level of collaboration you want to fulfill with other countries. I would advise, if you have a certain idea of the Fashion Week being the collaborative action, for example, of turning the Fashion Week into a collaborative action with different countries, then it could definitely be some European cooperation projects. If you also think about the priorities of the EU. So if you have the Fashion Week and you want this to be a longer project and you want to collaborate with other countries and you want it to be greener, more inclusive, more equal, more international, etc., then I think there could be a way to fund it from the European cooperation project, for example. But I would advise to contact your local desk with a more detailed idea, maybe, or just also you can always contact your local desk to schedule a meeting, like a talk, and discuss the possibilities of the Creative Europe. I can see my colleagues writing a lot of helpful information in the chat, so feel free to explore the chat again. because I can really see some useful links here. Thank you so much. I will scroll through the chat once again to see if there are any more projects or any more questions. But we have like 5 more minutes before we go to the project, to the stories about the projects we have today. So feel free to raise your hand and maybe ask some more questions if you have them. Can only see some thank yous and some more stories about the organizations. It's really great to see all of you trying to network and connect in the chat. It really warms my heart to see that maybe this event could also bring some more collaborations. But I do not see any more questions, so maybe I would. Janis, are you ready, or do you think that we want to take a 5-minute coffee break?
It's up to you. I'm ready if everybody ready. But if you want to take a 5-minute break, it's up to audience how they feel.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard for me to see the audience because I don't see the faces.
Anastasia, can I just say some by following the chat and also the questions that have come forward, just a few words from the Commission side as well. I mean, what is always, I mean, since you are connected to this webinar, you might have an idea in mind, or you say, okay, this is my first time, I just have a look, or I hear what's going on. So even if what Anastasia said, the funding of Creative Europe is rather limited compared to other EU funding programs, like, for example, the Horizon, which is the program, which is the research program, or others. So the funding under Creative Europe is quite limited, and we are working on that to get more from. So please reach out also to your member states and to your ministries and call for more funds to be in the position to support these beautiful projects, like Anastasia rightly said. And we will hear more now from the 2 projects that we're lucky to make it through the run and to be able to sign the grant agreement under Creative Europe. But what I want to say is, don't be afraid. I know putting together a cooperation project is not just something you do in an hour. I mean, like Anastasia said, you are looking for partners. First, you have a project idea, then you're looking for partners. And there also, I want to address a little bit the question that was raised: how many partners shall we involve? You involve as many partners as it makes sense for your project and as it can be impactful. But of course, we keep in mind this is a European funding program. And so, of course, we want to have an impact across Europe. So I don't say as many countries as possible, but think always before you submit, say, okay, can there be another partner somewhere? And events like today are very helpful also to connect interested parties. And also, you're, like Anastasia said, the Creative Europe desks in your countries also might have ideas. So to bring you in contact of maybe organizations that you're not even thinking about today. So this is one thing. And also think about exactly the needs and the challenges that you want to be part of to address. So the changes your project can make, and so why is it worthwhile to submit under Creative Europe? I mean, we should be transparent enough. I mean, under the last call for cooperation projects, I think there were around 1,000 applications. And when you see in the document that my colleague from the executive agency sent the link in the chat, it indicates that we can fund around 130 or 160, I think, projects. So you can see a little bit the relation. But as we say, it is worthwhile. And Janis, you will tell us more about your way you took to come to this successful result. So it is always worthwhile. And we are looking really also for partners in the fashion sector, also in the design sector, to help the creatives to make this change and to address also this paradigm shift that needs to take place in the fashion sector. So thank you very much that you gave me this time to just round up and share a little bit my ideas. So thank you all for being connected, and yeah, looking forward to see projects. So sorry, I stop here.
Thank you so much for your really valuable comments, Jutta. So you can see that there is still a lot more information to discuss and a lot more details to be discussed. So again, if you have these ideas, if you want to get into Creative Europe funding, if you want to just meet with your local desks, contact us and we'll let everything happen. But we have 1 minute left, so I believe we could start sharp at 2 p.m. Brussels, and you can quickly pour yourself some coffee or water, and then at 2 sharp, we are here again for the project presentations. Okay, I hope everybody managed to do so. Yeah, thank you, Yanis, for being here on time. I will present the first speaker of our today's event, Jānis Gailītis, from Latvia, who will tell you more about the fashion design project which their organization is involved in. Jānis, the floor is yours, and thank you once again.
Yes, thank you, Anastasia. I will share my screen. Yeah. So here you can see I prepare a presentation. Yeah, so I will talk today about a project, one of the granted projects called Fashion Tech. Yeah, my name is Jānis Gailītis. I represent one of the partners, Art Academy of Latvia, who is one of the 11, no, actually 12. We are together 12 partners from 11 countries. Yeah, and I will talk about Fashion Tech project, which is a 3-year project started in 2023, end of the year 2023, and it will continue till 26. Yeah, so we are in our first year, and we are moving into our closing the years 2025 and 2026. So we are together collaborating on specific tasks to modernize fashion school curriculum, and specifically with digital fashion, with the new softwares, with the new training models, which is already in used by the industry, but it is not used in the fashion schools, and specifically in our areas, yeah, like Baltic states and some Eastern Europe partners, yeah, and we learn from our more advanced collaboration partners, like in Milan and in Rome and in Amsterdam. Yeah, so we have some good experts who can explain of new technologies and new ways of teaching fashion designers to be more in touch with the industry development. Yeah, and then we have a specific activities. One is these training models for teachers. We start to teach our train the trainer courses, and then we go into the courses for our students. So this program could be used by study programs as well. And then we provide, starting from this year, end of this year, a 2-week residency program for talented students in specific makerspace in Schneeberg, Germany, and in 2026 in Latvia. And then another activity, what we will do, we are collaborating with European Culture Capital, Chemnitz, and at the end of this year, it will be a fashion show in Chemnitz, Germany. And then we try to show how to connect students, study curriculum with things what they already know, with the new ways how to more better produce the garments, yeah, how in a design process all the technical drawings, all the visualizations is done by using computers, yeah, computer aided parts. So yeah, this is our team from our meetings, what we already were having. Yeah, we would like to train a next generation of students who can do a realistic 3D garments, and we can have this test already not by sending via post, but via digital tools, yeah, online. So we can have a feedbacks as well on the designs, virtual environment creating, and advancements in garment and visualization software. And we talk about one of the specifics. It's a Claw 3D. Yeah. So before using this software, this was the value chain. Yeah. So it started with the materials design, and then you have the loop of making samples, then reviewing, and only after this way you can go to market. Yeah. But with using 3D software, we include one more point. It's a 3D sample. Yeah. And with the 3D sample, we can better review the whole idea, the whole design, the concept, and then we create the samples, and then we can provide this to the market. Yeah, so this is the changes in value chain. So what it means for the study program, it means that we include the understanding of this virtual fashion. Yeah, so we train students of the basics, how to do technical drawings in this programming software, then creating avatars, texturing, animation, and final presentation. So these parts we try to include in our study programs, and we learn from the best. Yeah, before this project started in our academy, at least in Art Academy of Latvia, it was not so popular. Now students are really looking into that, and they see how this actually helps them to make it. And with the help of Claw virtual fashion program, yeah, they can learn more about different parts, and how to visualize the ideas, how to create more creative concepts, and afterwards using into their own projects. Yeah, so these technical drawings, and then you can really see how you save material. Yeah, how you can create a real fittings to the specific how to say avatar. Yeah, you can see the style, you can see the concepts. Yeah, and for our academy, of course, is important as well equipment. Yeah, so the bigger screens, the bigger presentations, and of course more in details how you look into all these specific parts of how the look or the fashion is presented. Yeah, and students give quite good feedback afterwards about the whole concept. And then another thing, I show you a small movie, is what this Claw program does. It helps to understand the fabric as well. Yeah, as I told you, this is already used by industry. Yeah, so basically you can create in a virtual space very realistic designs, and this program therefore is quite popular in the concepts. Yeah? And you can really professionalize in each of these steps of how the fabric is emulated, and how then you create this realistic look in the virtual world. Yeah, and for that, one of the things we want to make our students more professionals in this field of garment creation, and mastering the fabric simulations, and making them going from this novice to experts. Yeah, so this is very important for us. So when they are continuing bachelor, master in our academy, they can see how they are advancing in their profession. Yeah, and therefore we will have this year September in Schneeberg, a specific workshop together with experts, together with professionals from the field, from the companies, to show how actually it is used then in reality. Yeah, so it's not only a study project, but how it connects to the industry. And for us, we are lucky that the leading partner of our project is from Dresden, European Cultural Forum, yeah, and they are located in Saxony. And Saxony is very competitive regarding the textile industry. It has a history of more than 200 years, and there are many, many companies who really follow all the value chain of textile industry, starting from the basics till the fashion and the garment businesses. Yeah, so you can see in this link how many companies are located in Saxony, and we will do events in Chemnitz and, as I mentioned before, in Schneeberg. Yeah, and in Chemnitz, this will be this fashion show. It's planned for the November. It will be a virtual fashion show. So we want to show how the student works are created in the virtual space. Yeah. Yes, and then at June 2026, the Fashion Tech Makerspace, it will be 2-week residency program in Riga Makerspace. Yeah, this is our newest facilities, specifically designed for prototyping, and therefore this is very important for us to show our how to say. Development as an institution. We are connecting more into industry. Yeah, we're connecting more with the companies, and we can collaborate in a specific prototyping, not only virtual but as well as physical. Yes, there is a specific fabrication workshop there as well. Yeah. Yeah, so it was a quick overview of the project, but you can see more information in website fashiontech.eu. There we're posting all the news. Our next meeting will be in Prague in March this year. Yeah, so we are all continuing and collaborating together, all the 12 partners from the 11 different European countries. Yes. So from me, this was the quick overview, and I can have a time for Q&A. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Janis. Yes, you can now stop sharing your screen, maybe, but it depends on you. I do not see any questions now in the chat, but so I'm encouraging the audience to write your questions to Janis, but I have some questions prepared to you, and I could start the discussion going until we have the time to pass the microphone to the next speaker. But my first question would be that connected to the European Cooperation Project's core idea of collaborating and cooperating, and I wanted to ask you if you could tell more about first of all, how did you find the partners? How did they find you? How do you collaborate? What was the initial point for collaboration? So could you please tell us more about the collaborating process and the start of the process?
Yes, so one of the beginnings, of course, is the idea of Riga Makerspace. We started to building these facilities. It's a new facility, 3,600 square meters. Yeah, and it is in a center of Riga. It is 7 years long process of construction, of developing the specific prototyping facilities. And at that moment, we already knew that for us, it will be important to have not only for the local events, these facilities, but for international events. And of course, we were eager to find new partners, new ideas with whom to collaborate, yeah, in order to promote these, how to say, opportunities, not only for students, yeah, but to opportunities to invite experts from foreign countries. And for us as Art Academy, it's very important to have this co-financing. Yeah, as it is mentioned, Creative Europe is on 60% of finances, and then we get the co-financing from Ministry of Culture as well. And then partners get a share of the budget, and therefore this mobilities is not only used by us, like the budget not only comes from our, but that we can invite this. And then of course it is part of strategy of our institution of internationalization. Yeah, so our students could go abroad as well. Yeah, and I think since we have quite a long experience with European funds, yeah, and of course, it's based on Erasmus Plus. Erasmus Plus is one of the biggest our how to say funding opportunities for exchange. Yeah, for us this was important. And Dresden, we visited Dresden several times, and we know Saxony. Yeah, and it has historic connections, yeah, with Latvia and our partners, and so on, and as well Baltic states. Yeah, in these partners, we are all presented the Vilnius Art Academy, the Estonian Art Academy. Yeah, we are all partners together, and of course, in many events, what we mingle, we create the ideas, and then we share, and we see how we can, yeah, be included. And of course, this project was not financed from the first application. Yeah, so there is a success rate plays a role. So I encourage listeners or participants not to be how to say. Nemesplint krūmos. So it means if you are first time not successful, yeah, still keep the idea and continue. Maybe adapt, maybe learn from evaluation, because as it was presented, there is a big competition. Yeah, so therefore the project idea needs to be adjusted, and maybe the program need to be adjusted to which you go, and so on. Yeah, but we managed to keep our partnerships together, and we are really grateful that they include us as well, because we can learn from the best. Yeah, we are collaborating not only state universities but the private schools as well. Yeah, and private schools are much more connected to the industry. Yeah, the fashion department is one of the 15 departments of our academy. Yeah, so therefore it is one specific sector what we focus. Yeah, I hope I answer. Yeah,
Thank you
the
so
long
much.
story. Yeah.
Yes, and it is true indeed what you say, that not all the great projects funded get the funding from the first time, and I'm really happy that you mentioned it, because it is a really crucial and important thing, that if you do not get the support from the first time, you have to not give up, because you can reapply with the same project idea next year, and it is a year of time, almost a year after you get the results, there is a lot of time to get the feedback from your local Creative Europe desks, and from the evaluators, and from the partners as well, and work on the idea to continue developing it, and to apply again, and then possibly get the funding. So thank you for mentioning it. I can see a question in the chat, and I can read it out loud for everybody to hear it, and then I will let you answer, Janis. Heini would like to ask, who are the main target group? Are they current designer students, or the universities and academies that are participating, or newly graduated students? And she thanks you for such a nice presentation.
Thank you. Yes, our main target group is students, current students. Yeah, so we really want to see that our curriculum, what we provide to students, is including contemporary tools. Yeah, so it means that for us it is part of digital transformation as well. Yeah, how the study program is transformed. So therefore, in this slide of value chain, you could see the process is added this 3D virtual. And it means that it's not only Claude 3D program what is used, yeah. It goes quite a lot to animation as well, to avatars, yeah. So it cross-sectoral collaborations as well. And with this program actually could be used not only for fashion design, but as well for film industry, for animation, so for many applications. And then we, of course, encourage students to learn other parts as well, like Blender, yeah, the program, and other Adobe programs, which really helps you to visualize. Therefore, this virtual fashion show, this as well will be something new, yeah, with which we can really show how to make fashion more sustainable, yeah, so to eliminate the waste, yeah. So maybe to testing ideas, you don't need to create in a real product. Maybe for testing ideas, it's still okay to use a virtual environment, yeah, and therefore not to produce more waste. As you know, fashion industry is very resource demanding industry. There is a lot of yeah, things what is produced, yeah. And yeah, I mean, of course, we would like to afterwards include for lifetime learning as well, that we could provide opportunities for people after they already study to learn these programs. Yeah, so we would be capable to become a place, yeah, Riga Makerspace, with a special life learning content. Yeah, and then people from not our academy, formal education, but informal education could actually as well study and work with these programs. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Janis. Heini, I hope Janis answered your question. I can see a hand raised from Jutta. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not a question, but it's mainly a comment, because you invited indeed organizations not to give up after a very first unsuccessful result. And so there indeed, they can work on the weaknesses which have been identified by the experts. Nonetheless, I'd like to remind to everybody, every year is a new competition. So though you might have indeed worked on the identified weaknesses, this doesn't forcefully mean that you will be selected for funding the next year, because you might be together with other projects which are of a better quality than yours. So even though you have smoothed all the corners and all the things which were not clear in your first proposal, it's not granted that you will be selected for funding. So it's just to, I mean, not giving people fake expectations. And the second thing is related to the consortium. So I'm in the selection team of the cooperation strand. So that's why I would like to benefit of this platform, just to transfer a message to the audience, is that the consortium is particularly important. So it's not just that you have an idea, you look for other organizations which might be interested in your project, and you set up a project. It's a really 100% commitment in the preparation of the proposal, the implementation of the project if you are successful. So it's not just saying, okay, I like the idea, I have time, I can put some money on it, let's set up a consortium. It goes really beyond it, so don't underestimate what it is indeed to work together or an international cooperation. So the keyword is cooperation project, which doesn't mean that I don't invite you to submit proposals. I mean, do it. More than happy to have as many proposals as possible, but just be aware that it's not a walk in the park.
Thank you so much for your valuable comments. It is indeed really valuable information, and yeah, we always do not want to discourage everybody, but we also have to keep in mind that Creative Europe projects and the competition is so high that you have to take it really serious. Thank you so much for commenting, Nate. And Janis, do you have something to say, or?
No, I'm really grateful for this opportunity to present a fashion tech project. I think we will produce more news. Please follow us, on our website and social media. And I hope there's a new collaborations. And if people need some contacts, please contact me. Yeah, it's at the end of my presentation. And thank you so much, Anastasia.
Thank you so much, Janis, for agreeing to this event and for telling us the story of your project and for showing the professionals here how they can apply for Creative Europe, what kind of projects could be implemented, and what kind of collaborations could be awaited and maybe fostered. Thank you so much once again, and we're right on time. And I'm inviting on the this online podium the next speaker of our event today, Kati. Yes, I can see you, and the floor is yours. You can unmute yourself and share your story with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a second. Can you see it properly? Thank you. Yes. Okay, let's start. My name is Kati Viljakainen, and I work for Southeastern Finland University of Applied Sciences in Creative Industries Research Unit. And I'm here to present you Time for S-Heroes in Fashion, Costume Design and Art Installation for Sustainable Future Zero Waste Digital Processes and Co-Design project. And there we go. Here you can see some key facts about our project. It's a 4-year project funded by Creative Europe. And as you can see, and I already told you, the name of the project is very long. So in the next time, I'm only shortening to Time for S-Heroes project, so not using all the words. There you go. The leading partner is Southeastern Finland University of Applied Sciences. We are one of the largest universities of applied sciences in Finland, especially in terms of number of projects we manage. Our unit, the Creative Industries Research Unit, employs about 40 people, depending on the number of ongoing projects. In this picture, you can see some of Time for S-Hero team members. We met for our internal kickoff meeting in October last year in Kouvola. As I said, we are the leading partner, but we have also other beautiful partners participating. We are a consortium of 6 partners in 5 European countries. And all of the organizations have their own strengths, and by working together, such a comprehensive project is made possible. I have many slides, so I will go smoothly. And here, in a nutshell, the project's purpose is to provide emerging designers with capacity building opportunities and contribute to sustainability in other sectors. The processes that we offer explore the relationship between tangible and digital design. Part of the offerings are made for everyone who is interested, and the other part for selected participants only. And then we can talk about our main target groups. As Janis was talking about their project target groups, they have teachers and students, and we are offering the opportunities to already graduated new designers who still hasn't got the capabilities on digital design, or if they want to develop their skills further in multidisciplinary teams. And what else? There are many different kind of designers that we are trying to reach. This is not a part of formal education, it is well suited for recent graduates and designers who are transitioning in the professional life. And then we go forward to our process. Our first major effort is launching the digital portal in this fall. Maybe in here it is appropriate to mention that we started our project a little bit later than the other Creative Europe projects. So we haven't launched the official website yet, or the digital portal, or the competition, but they are launched later this year. The portal will remain open throughout the project and even beyond. The key elements of the portal will include freely available materials and an open call that encourages co-creation. I will go into details about this shortly. The teams participating in the open call will continue working under the dedicated design briefs, and the best ideas will move forward to a tailored program. This program includes Design Wave Festival as the first step. The top teams may then advance to residencies, a business incubation program, and opportunities to showcase their design artifacts for public. And at the end of the project, we will also deliver guidelines and a symposium for open access. Then something about the digital portal. Now, even though we are trying to attract young designers to apply to our open call, the competitiveness is not in the central of the digital portal. Instead, there is plenty of time for self-development and networking. We attract designers to join the movement of sustainability, challenge them to rethink hero narratives, showcase study modules, and support participants to network and offer co-design facilities. As I mentioned earlier, the co-design process is intended for multidisciplinary teams. The design briefs that will guide the work are currently being prepared. So unfortunately, I cannot share them at this point yet. However, the aim is to leave room for experimental approaches rather than limit proposals too strictly. So the initial ideas that the teams have will compete for advancement, and the first step will be Design Wave Festival in Latvia. The best 30 proposals are going to be invited. The event will offer inspirational keynotes and mentoring, and also some open program beyond the competition teams. And after the Design Wave Festival, the very best teams are chosen to continue their journey in the residencies. We have two unique locations, Barcelona, Spain, and Finland. of course, to Barcelona city will offer a very vibrant atmosphere with artistic energy. Our project partner Esponsera is a contemporary art hub with a strong expertise in residency programs. In Finland, Ankkapurha venue is quite the opposite to city, Barcelona. It is a historical, quiet place in the middle of the nature. Some campus, on the other hand, has top-tier technological facilities and digital tools to use. And more. The project also boosts business opportunities to creatives and directs businesses towards more sustainable mindsets and circular economy. Some of the materials are offered in the digital portal for everyone, but the main focus is on the incubation program that is for selected teams only. The tailored content supports teams in developing business models and branding their products. The further developed ideas are exhibited in the end, and they are presented to public in 3 different countries. Since the designed outcomes will vary, the exhibitions will also take place in different types of venues. These may include galleries, libraries, campuses, urban venues, or festivals. And the guidelines. As we want to ensure the project outcomes that they could be widely utilized, we will have several guidelines and manuals produced in the end of the project. The final symposium will be held in Finland in 2028. So here, this was the Timeforce S-Heroes project in a nutshell. I tried to emphasize how the different parties can participate our journey. In addition to that, we would also like you, dear listeners, watchers, here and ask your support in the following ways. Please spread the word about the project. Of course, you can register the digital portal by yourself. And once our marketing begins, you likely have stakeholders who might be interested in this opportunity. And also you can help us to connect with experts. We are still in the process of gathering experts who can contribute to mentoring. Also, the capacity building material for digital portal could benefit from previous or upcoming projects. We would like to hear your suggestions for this one. Here is our contact details. Before moving to the questions, I would like to thank you on my behalf and introduce our project manager, Heini Haapaniemi. She's online as well. And Heini will be happy to answer any questions with me if you have any. That's about the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kati. Once again, I don't see any questions currently, but as our colleagues told us and backed me up on the importance of the collaborative aspect of the cooperation projects, I would like to ask you the same question I asked Janis, if you could tell me more about the way your collaboration with your partner started. And do I recall correctly that you're also a leading partner in the project, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so maybe you could talk more from the perspective for the leading partner. How does the collaboration goes, and how was the process of selecting the new partners, or maybe the already known for you partners and collaborating with them? How was it, and how is it? Thank you.
Heini, are you there? Because Heini
Yes.
was also
Yes.
writing the application form, so she might be better to answer with this. But I think the main idea is that every partner has very specific strengths. that we are very different from each other. So we have like the capabilities that suits well together, and everybody brings something to the table. But Heini, please.
Yes, thank you. Such a good question. It's a middle scale project. So we have 6 partners. With some of the partners, some has already collaborated in other, either Creative Europe or some other funded projects. I could mention, for instance, Creative Ports, a project that was funded by Intre, and we had it with Tallinn Creative Incubator. So we knew them already from there. And then also we have an ongoing project with NDPC, Northern Dimension Partnership on Culture. And it's about sustainability, CCI for change. So then when we contacted some of the partners, they would suggest that how about if we bring another partner into the same boat and start rowing towards the same goal. So we applied twice, and for the second round, first we were put on a waiting list, and it's such a it was such a great news for us that then we finally got to start just a few months ago. So I think that all the partner organizations, I agree with what Kati says, that they complement each other. And therefore, we are currently looking for academias, universities, all sorts of networks. We have, with the partner organizations, we have already made a list of 50, almost like 50 experts that we want to invite and include in one way or the other as short keynotes, as mentors and project supporters. So we would like to really provide a nice selection on sustainability and digital transformation issues, so that we can really benefit the young designers.
Thank you so much for your answer. And maybe I have one more question for you. And maybe you touched upon it a bit already, but just to stress for everybody here with us, what in your opinion, and how would you say, what are the main challenges for implementing this project, and what were the main reasons for deciding on implementing this project, as well as opportunities? So challenges, opportunities, and the reasons. Thank you.
I can start with challenges. Go right there. So I think the challenging phase is the beginning, because now we are creating a digital portal for collaboration and co-design, and we would like to invite up to 3,000 participants. So we really have to have state-of-the-art content there, and we put a lot of effort into this. So then we start our, I would say, like a happily vigorous marketing campaign by the end of September 25. And from then on, I'm sure it goes smooth. But the beginning phase is quite, it's not hectic. We have planned it well with designers, with the service designers, how we do this. But this is the most important. We can't include overwhelming amount of material, but we have to give like a tasting of what you will get if you enter the project and really take all the steps that Kati was explaining. I think that's the most challenging thing in the beginning.
Okay, thank you. And what about a bit of opportunities? Not only the bad side, but also some good comments.
Well, I hope that we are creating a movement or contributing to a movement towards sustainability and digital transformation. We all understand that especially in the world of fashion, this is everybody's shared challenge and a vision we want to enable and cherish and encourage. And we want to also further the skills and competencies that new designers need when they enter the job market.
Okay, thank you so much. Do you have something else you want to say from your side, just for the audience, or are you all good?
Well, we are just hoping everybody to enter to the digital portal later this autumn. Welcome.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your presentation, Kati, and for helping to answer the questions, Heini. It was a pleasure to have you here talking about your Creative Europe project. And we now have still a bit more time, but I would still love to conclude the event today with saying final thank you words for everybody who participated today in the event, and for saying big thank you for all the speakers, for everybody who inspired us today, for everyone who spread their valuable comments and really valuable information on Creative Europe. Thank you everybody for joining and making this happen. And in the end of the event, I would like to stress once again that the Creative Europe is a great opportunity, and the calls are open now. So if you want to participate, if you're thinking about participating in Creative Europe and applying for the projects, you can always contact your local desks, and I'm putting the link to the desks and the contacts of the desks here in the chat for you to access it quickly. But also, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you can always contact us as the event organizers, and you have my contacts because I have shared with you the link and all the information. You can also contact your local desks for all the comments, for all the feedback, and for everything you want to share about your ideas and Creative Europe. I'm really happy and grateful for your all the messages you shared in the chat. I think it is really valuable that we today kind of created a community that could network together, and I hope that some networking happened, and that we could share the information, and we could find information on some relevant projects, some relevant organizations that we could then contact. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you all for being here. I will send you the recording of this event hopefully today after the recording is edited, but at latest it will be tomorrow, and all the presentations will be sent to you as well, together with the recording. So again, on the technical side, I'm not sure how long it will take for the recording to be saved and edited, but you will get it. And thank you just once again. I hope we see more fashion design projects. I hope we see you in the applicants list, and I hope that if you have your ideas, you contact your local desks, us. Thank you so much. I will now close the meeting.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.